Can I go to the sleepover?
I want you to promise me something. If there's any drinking, I want you to say, "No thanks, not my thing."
I promise, Mom.
They really do hear you.
Did you pack your toothbrush?
For tips on how to start the talk, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
I'll tell you straight up, it is a humbling experience. A few years ago, BC, before COVID. That's the new BC, it seems like. But I had one favorite musician, and just kind of like the old said, knocked me over with a feather. You know, to know that God has reached and used these hands as a musician and this voice or whatever to reach people, to touch people, and hopefully change and give them a little bit more hope than they've had before and a little bit more joy. You know, over the years, people have tried to make there be a distinction between minister and entertainer. And there is some distinction, but I have learned this over the last few years too. A very dear friend of mine, a fellow musician, piano player, and I were sitting and talking, and he said, I looked up the definition to entertain, and it's several definitions, and one of those is to bring joy to a group of people. Well, we bring joy, the joy of our Lord, and the joy of our Lord is our strength. So, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. But these awards let us know that people are being blessed and people are being touched and things of that nature. The group as a whole, Tabitha and then Tanner and myself are up for favorite Southern gospel group. To be, and it's humbling in this to know people think of you that much. I don't take that lightly. That's a high responsibility, wouldn't you say,
I
son?
would very much agree. Yes, yeah. Absolutely.
The living legend. I've never thought of myself as a legend of anything, but Tabitha called me from the office and she said, "Honey, the nominations are up." She said, "We're up for Group of the Year and you're up for musician and all this kind of stuff." She said, "But hold on to your seat." I said, "What?" She said, "They've nominated you for Living Legend." I said, "Honey, you're out of your mind." I said, "You misread that." She says, "Look it up." And so I got on my phone and I said, "How in the world did that happen?" She said, "Honey, you've been on the road for over 40 years. And I don't want to sound like I'm on an ego trip. I really don't. Because this is just absolutely, I'm amazed at any time we get something like that, you know, come our way. And it's just one other thing that we can see a little bit of the fruit of the labor. Over the years, I have filled in with other groups from across the spectrum of gospel music. Some folks would know who I'm talking about, some would not. So I'm just going to say I've traveled with quite a few at different times, helping them out, doing those kind of things like that. Fill in, somebody gets sick, piano player or singer or something, they'll pick up the phone, "Hey Keith, can you run this weekend?" And I'll say, "Sure, you know, I'll be glad to if we're not on the road." But here's the thing, when I go by myself or I go with other, it's not the same spirit, you know, the close-knit spirit. So all of that to say this, when we are able to step out on a platform in a church or on a concert stage somewhere and to look over and see my wife beside me and my son on the other side of her is a phenomenal feeling. And I'm so blessed to have that.